We wanted to let you know that we are back on campus. The Student Center is now open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
The campus will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 5:15 p.m. We ask that while you're on campus, you remain social distancing and wear a face mask or cover.
Pay close attention to the signs around campus as they may contain instructions for specific rooms/areas. Sanitation stations have also been added around campus for easy access. As always, your safety and comfort is our main priority. We are in this together.
Let's go, Cavs.
Go Cavs.
Go Cavs.
Alright, so the third test that we took was Plant Your Own Flower, and it's a focus analyzing test that assigns you a specific type of flower or plant based on the way that you go throughout answering this test. And this test is just so beautiful and so relaxing and calming. It's very like interactive and like, yes, I love this one.
Highly recommend. I think it's one of my personal favorites.
Yes.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, for sure. It asks you what type of music you would like to listen to, and then you click on it and it actually changes the soundtrack to that and stuff like that. So good. For sure. I was really relaxed when I took this test. All right, Andrew, what were your results for this one?
Okay, my flower was a sunflower, which I thought was funny since like we're in Kansas. But it means that I bring a lot of passion to finding solutions and looking for like new opportunities, which I definitely agree with. I would say I'm a passionate person when it does come to like problem solving. But sometimes when I am problem solving, I sometimes always like look for other opportunities as well and get distracted a lot. Which I think is like characteristic. I don't know how it's characteristic, but it makes sense that it's a sunflower, I guess. They always face toward the sun, and when they can't find it, they face each other. I think that just, I think there's a lot of ingenuity in that. And when the sun's not there, you have to find another solution.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good like trait to have. Able to find like different solutions. Love that. Okay, Cambry, what were your results?
So I really enjoyed this test. I took it when I was like trying to finish up a final presentation, and it was like not going good. For some reason, like if a storm comes through like by my house, I lose Wi-Fi, and I had to have it submitted by midnight, and it like would not record. So I was like, I'm just gonna take this test to relax, and it was very relaxing. So it's definitely 10 out of 10. You gotta take it, and it's not like some of the other ones are kind of like dry. It's just like rate this, rate that. This was very like interactive and very personal. So I got the oak as my flower, and it said the oaks are natural born leaders. And like the funny thing about this is it's supposed to help you with focus, and like the joke is I have no focus. So it's always like we call it like I had to do like a different personality test in an honors class, and we were all just like talking about all this random stuff, and it's like notice we didn't get focused, and we're like, oh, we wonder why. And so we always called it like the squirrel mentality. So like taking this test helped me see like that even though I don't like think I have focus, I actually do. So like one thing is they're very like detail oriented, like they are very like precise with their details, the oak flower personality. And so like I found that, especially since going into quarantine, like making daily lists of like what I need to get done and for each class. So I found like that connection between the trait and what I was doing in my daily life. So yeah, it was a super fun test. And the like graphics are just like stunning. So, and the thing I really enjoyed about it is it gave you like who your like study buddy flower was. So like when we were like going through all these like as our whole team, I was like, I'm looking for like a cat-tailed willow, and then like somebody else on the team was that, and they're like, we can't wait to actually get back together and see if this works. So yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, it was really a fun one, and I feel like that, yeah, the study buddy thing was super cool. I love it for sure. All right, Johan, what were your results?
So for this test, I agree with everybody else. It was really good. It was like one of those like interactive games. I forgot what it was called. There's like an interactive. Anyways, I got the cherry blossom, and I actually really like this flower. It actually reminds me of one time like my family made these like, I don't know if you've heard of them, like cherry blossom cookies. They're basically sugar cookies, but they're like.
Sounds absolutely delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait,
are they cherry flavored?
yeah,
Oh
they
my
are.
gosh.
I know.
Juan, you're
But they're
making me hungry.
I know. My bad.
But
But
like stacked. Now,
but this like, okay, so basically like the cherry blossom, what it means is like you like to make your job fun, you like to make life fun. In a way, I relate to this because I'm the type of person like I can't just stay still like at a job. Like I literally need some like entertainment. Like I just need some either background music. Like I cannot like sit still in the room. So I feel like in a way like I just like to spice things up a little bit. But I know that like many people can't relate to this because a lot of people like really silent environment. But I feel like it's a little bit good to just have a little bit of music playing, whether it's loud or it's smooth, but it can get in that work mood, you know.
All right, so for me, I got the bamboo flower or bamboo tree, I guess, which basically means that I have different ways of working, but I want everything needs to be structured and in a setting where I can actually like sit down in a desk and like get things done that way. So I'm like pretty fluid in terms of like ways to go about solving problems and things like that, but I want like step by step thing. Like I don't want it to just like be all over the place, or like if an idea comes like instantly I need to like write down step by step how to achieve that and how to like get there.
I agree.
All right, so the next test that we did was the 16 personalities test, which analyzes what type of the 16 personalities you fit into. It kind of provides a detailed description as to why they think that you fit into that category, and it goes into like a lot of details like your strengths, weaknesses, your like what jobs you probably like and would succeed at, and like all that kind of stuff. And it also has like 4 distinct groups that the personalities like reside within, which are analysts, diplomats, sentinels, and explorers. All right. So Andrew, which one? Did
I got the ENFPT. And so I had, let's see. Oh no, I lost. Okay, here it is. Okay, perfect. I found it. I had the ENFP-T, and so I am extroverted, intuitive. My nature is more feeling. I have more prospecting tactics in like when it comes to planning and decision making. And then I am more turbulent than assertive. So I thought the breakdown was actually pretty cool. It goes into a lot more detail than some of the other tests, which was nice. I think the Enneagram is one of the only other ones that really goes into that much detail as this one does. But I really like it, and I think what was interesting was I took this a year ago and got something completely different. And I think that your personality changes, every so often, and I think that isn't a bad thing. There's always room to grow or improve or change in whatever way, and it was cool to like see the difference, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like whenever we go through like a transitional period, or we just grow and like become older, and like we have more life experiences and so our personality changes, I feel like taking these tests like within like 2 years of like taking it for the first time, and then you take it again. And so it's kind of pretty cool to see like how you've evolved and how like some things remain true always, like there are some constants that never leave, but then like the core sometimes changes. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
I agree with that. I feel like we do change every year. Like I feel like our personalities do like stay the same, but I feel like we either mature or just like, I guess like grow an aspect of our personality.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, Cambry, what were your results for this one?
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting as you're saying, like, it changes and stuff. So I took this test for like the first time 2 years ago, and I was an ENFJ, and every single thing, the first three letters were like 52, 48%. Like, they literally were very strong. And I remember I did it as part of like a workshop at the career development center, and the lady was like, the only way I can describe this is very, very organized. Like, everything, all the hangers had to go one way, like all the tank tops were together, all the t-shirts were together, all the long sleeve shirts were together, the sweaters were together. And she's like, yeah, that's a very strong J. Yeah, that's a J. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but cool. And so then I took it again this week, and now it says that I am an INFJT. So I think the quarantine has gotten to me. It's turned me from an extrovert to an introvert, because that's really the only one that had like a big, huge shift was that. So, which is weird, because if I look back 2 years ago, I think the results would be switched, because I was not as like outgoing as I was.
Right.
You know, I was just moved to the area. I was like starting. It must be that quarantine. It must be getting to me. So I think, yeah, definitely like what you guys were saying, like things, like the core stays the same, but things change and evolve over time.
There was one question when I was taking it today, and it was like, would it be difficult for you to stay by yourself at home all weekend? Would you find it boring? And I was like, at this point, no. Like,
No.
I do all the time. Like, a weekend, that's nothing. Like,
there's one a weekend. There
yeah.
was one for me, and it was like, when you're in a crowded room, do you always look for the exits or something? And I remember that question the first time thinking like, yes, you never know, like when there might be a fire. And now I'm like, a crowded room, that's not gonna happen for a long time, so don't need to worry about that.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, what is a crowd?
Yeah, we don't know that.
I don't know that. Or you like look at like a movie or a picture, and you see like people like at a concert, and you're like, I forgot about those.
What's it? Taking a couple personality tests in like 8 or 9 months, when hopefully things have more or less settled down, will be interesting.
Oh yeah.
That's very true.
For sure.
Yeah.
Great. Johan, what did you get for this one?
Okay, so I got the assertive campaigner. I got ENFPA, which is an assertive campaigner. So basically what it means on the website is that an assertive campaigner sees himself as flourishing in life, but a campaigner is a free spirit. And related to that is extroversion, which is kind of weird because I okay, for me, I can either be an introvert or an extrovert. It just depends on the situation. But I feel like I'm in the middle between. Like I'm not fully introverted, but and at like most points, like Andrew mentioned earlier, like I do need some time to recharge. Like I cannot like just be with people like the whole. I'll get super. But at the same time, like I find myself most times like I crave like social interaction. Like I need to be like with a bunch of people. So I think that's really interesting. And I think it's interesting how like an assertive campaigner like sees the future like, you just want to be successful. That relates that I want to be in the future, whatever I do. So I like this test as well. I might take it later on to see if it's the same.
Yeah, I feel like I like large crowds and interaction with other people. Obviously, like, I mean, a big part of being a student life ambassador is that at events,
Yeah.
Right.
with a lot of people, so you kind of have to like it. And I mean, I like it, but I always just prefer like small gatherings. Like if I could just be like with my close like 5 to 6 friends and then we go somewhere, that to me is already like a large enough group that I just like it's fine, it's great, love that. I definitely lean more towards that. And this test for me actually did say like I'm like 82% introverted, which yeah, kind of fits with my personality, but right now I crave people.
Yeah, I think everyone needs social interaction to some extent.
Oh yeah, right now I just feel like I become a little bit more extroverted than I ever thought I would ever be.
Yeah, I think a lot of introverts are saying that.
It just like you love being at home, but it gets to a point that you really do want to hang out with people, and it brings out that side. So for me, this test said that I was like an INFPT, which basically they put me in like the diplomat group in the mediator role, which kind of just means that I like to create meaningful connections with other people and interact with others in like a deep way. So I like deep conversations. Like I've always had, like I'm always like, so what's your deepest fear? And things like that. And I really want to, like that's how I'd start conversations with people. It's like I don't like chit chat, small talk. It's not really for me. I like to get like really in depth real quick. And I obviously again this test sort of brought to like the creative side and all that kind of stuff. But an interesting thing that they said was that I can learn multiple languages faster than other people, which I never thought of. But I guess it's true because of the fact that simply like so my native language is Spanish. And then I learned English, but I was very young when I learned English. So I always thought, oh, well, I've always known English. So I never really thought it was like a big like success of mine because they're both like always been in my life. But then now that I started French at JCCC, I thought, okay, I'm picking this up way quicker than I thought I ever would. So I guess it's something that I never thought of like as a personality trait, but this just kind of like brought that out. Like mediators have that talent. Like they want to communicate with as much people as possible. So they want to learn as much as possible. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Is it strange learning a foreign language in a language that isn't your native language?
I never actually thought about it too much, but it kind of is. So it's just in the way that sometimes my brain thinks of similarities between French and Spanish, and I want to share them in class, and I'm like, wait, this is for me and my brain only. It's not for everybody else. In that way, it's kind of weird, but in other ways, for me, it's been like pretty okay. For sure. All right, so the last one that we did, which was certainly one of the more like relaxed and laid back ones, such a Buzzfeed quiz. Which season are you based on your choices? Like with any Buzzfeed quiz, I feel like it's just so fun to try to see what they think of like the results and what could possibly, and like reading through the comments and like what people think, like if this is actually like it fits into their like what they thought, like what their favorite season is or things like that. For sure. All right, so Cambry, what season are you?
So I was spring, which I was not at all surprised by. Because I had to pick like a dessert, like a location, a color scheme, and they were all very springy things that I picked. But like even before taking the test, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna be a spring. I was born in the spring. Like spring is my favorite season. It has the most like beautiful color in it. I was like, I'm a spring. And so when I took it in, the results were like, your season is spring. I was like, yeah, it is definitely.
Sure. Johan, what season are you?
Okay, so my so my favorite season is actually spring, just because like it's just that like in the middle of like you're done with winter, it's getting warmer and you're going into summer. Like I just love that. Like because summer, like you have longer days, the sun's out, rather than like winter and fall. Like that's when like the days are shorter, like nights get darker. But the season that I got was actually fall. I do like fall. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm all about the pumpkin spice flavors. Like they're really good. Pumpkin pie, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Um, thought that was really good. Like even then, like even in fall, it's still kind of warm, but it's better than.
True.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I love fall and I love spring, but I would prefer a little bit of spring just because fall ends and then winter immediately because
Yeah.
I don't I like the snow, but like too much is sometimes it's like a little bit
And
in.
I agree with Johan. Fall has the best flavors, like
Mhm.
toasted nuts, pumpkin, anything and everything. Definitely.
For sure. Right. Andrew, what season are you?
Okay. I actually didn't go into the test anticipating any like particular season, but I was fall as well, and fall is my favorite season by far. I love it when the leaves turn and start to fall. Um, Although there's only like really like 2 weeks of autumn, like like the good stuff, you know, um, until it just like turns cold and gross. Um, but fall definitely is my favorite season by far. I love getting to throw on a flannel and bust out my combat boots.
All right. So for me, I got summer, which I went into it. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. I wasn't really like Andrew. I wasn't like really preferring any season over the other. Like as I was taking it. Yeah, I love the beach. So I gotta say, I would live in like a perpetual summer if I could. Whenever I go back home, I live in perpetual summer anyways. So it's like, so I guess that has something to do with that. But yeah, summer would be one of my favorite ones for sure.
But what is your ideal like summer temperature?
Oh, well, when you say that, now I have to think in Fahrenheit, but I think in Celsius in my brain.
Well, I mean, what's your what's your favorite Celsius temperature?
I don't know, it would be like between 25 to 30 Celsius.
Okay, that's pretty warm.
Yeah, it is.
That's a little hot, I'd say.
Say that, but for me,
100 degrees.
any day.
I think my favorite was definitely the flower one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same. That one was really fun.
for sure.
And the Buzzfeed one.
Yeah.
That was fun too.
Yeah, I feel both of those were super fun and super just. I would say the flower one was pretty relaxing. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'd love to hear your suggestions on what topics you'd like us to talk about next. Check out our other social media platforms. We're JCCC Student Life on Instagram and Facebook. And if you'd like to find out what we're doing for like more events throughout our semester, go definitely check out our Get Involved at JCCC page. And yeah, thank you so much, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Awesome. See ya. Thank you for having me, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.